Good evening. I will now call the July 8th, 2025 Bermuda Run Town Council meeting to order. Reminder for everyone to please silence your phones as he checks his own phone. I do want to recognize we have 3 council members present, which does constitute a quorum. Please join me if you can in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It is the intent of the Town Council to make solemn the proceedings of this meeting and the business brought before the governing board, to offer the opportunity for a reflective moment of silence. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Town of Bermuda Run Code of Ethics Statement. Mr. Williams.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, Council, Mayor. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statutes 160A-86 and 160D-109 and the Town of Bermuda Run Code of Ethics policy adopted November 9th, 2010, and further endorsed on August 9th, 2022, I would ask each of you before you adopt the agenda if there's any actual, potential, or perceived conflicts of interest with respect to any matter on the proposed agenda which will come before the Town Council for a vote at this meeting tonight. If so, please speak up and let the Council know at this time before the agenda is adopted. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Williams. Item number 5, adoption of the agenda. The council has had an opportunity to review the agenda. Are there any revisions, or do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve? I'll second.
All those in favor? 3-0. Thank you, council. Item number 6, approval of the June 10, 2025 Town Council meeting minutes. Council's had an opportunity to review the minutes. Are there any revisions, or do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Show of hands. 3-0. Thank you, council. Item number 7, introduction of Bermuda Run Community Officer Mr. John Hobson, Davie County Sheriff's Office. So earlier this year, I had the opportunity, and we had the opportunity as a council, to introduce Officer Whitlock, welcoming him to the town in the role of our community officer. We then learned that Officer Whitlock has pursued an alternative career path. I've been assured that's not due to our town manager. I just want to make sure I clarify that. But no, in seriousness, we wish Officer Whitlock the best. Andrew and I had the opportunity to meet with Sheriff Hartman several weeks ago and meet John for the first time at the Sheriff's office, and met John and several others there at the Sheriff's office, and had a great conversation. And for those of you who don't know, Officer Hobson is a Davie native, and very much happy, as we understand it, to be a part of this. Barring any actions from our town manager, we should be able to retain John slightly longer than 3 months. That's our goal. I did ask Officer Hobson, in seriousness, to come forward to introduce himself and just speak to those in the crowd, but also those on video who will watch this later. So with that, please welcome Officer John Hobson.
So I'm not a public speaker. I am John Hobson. I work for the Davie County Sheriff's Office, but I tend to find myself in positions constantly where I speak to the public. I've lived in this county my entire life. I have a lovely wife of almost 6 years. I have 2 children, both sons, one named Maddox, one named Beckett. Beckett's my 3-year-old, Maddox is my month-and-a-half-year-old. Started my career in law enforcement at the Lexington Police Department. I always wanted to work in the county that I lived in because I'm very passionate about this county. Was fortunate enough to come over in March of this year. Got to meet Sheriff Hartman, some of the captains, different people, fell in love with the office. And it's always good to have a sheriff that has the same passion that I do for the people. And I think he shows that every day. I do want to touch on a few topics that I feel like would make the town of Bermuda Run safer, just some things that I've observed throughout time. You want to make sure that your garage doors are closed. That's an easy way. We live in an environment now where it's easy to Google anybody's information. They can Google your house, they Google your residence, they show up to the front gate, they tell Allied you're here to see such and such. Because they pulled through several times, it's easier for them to get items of value and then to leave before you know it. Another thing you want to do is lock your vehicles if they're outside of your garage at nighttime. It's easy for somebody to go in, steal your items. A lot of people still leave wallets and sometimes cellular devices in their vehicle. I know that they have a rule here. I've talked to several parents, and a lot of them have been very, very receptive of it, is if your children are under 16, please don't be driving golf carts on the road. The main reason is it's not that we're stating that your children can't drive. It's because they are kids, and a lot of adults now drive with their phone in front of their face, and the last thing we want is a fatality inside the gate. Also, some speed violations that I've seen pretty consistently with. Increased speed always leads to increased crashes and even fatalities. We don't want that to happen here. Luckily, that hasn't happened here in a long time. I do want to say that on behalf of myself, I'm very thankful to be here, very thankful to work in the town of Bermuda Run. I have spoken to several residents. Every single morning, they're very receptive, seem to be happy that I am here, and I am happy to be here. I will close with one of my favorite scripture verses. It states that, "Owe no man anything but to love one another, for he that loveth another hath fulfilled the law." Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Officer Hobson?
Officer, I just have a weird question for you. That vest looks really hot. Do you have to wear that thing all day long when you're on duty?
Yes, just more of a protection for myself, but yes, it is warm, but it's not terrible.
There's not a summer version of that thing, huh?
No, there's no summer fleece vest that we get to wear. This is year-round. So,
We'll put the town manager to work on that.
that's exactly right.
Exactly.
Thank you for being here.
I just want to say, people I've talked to, run into, such positive comments about you, your presence, just your observation, the concern, both practical and just in terms of empathetic, just such positive comments all the way around. So thank you so much for being here. Already making a big difference.
Glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Moving on to item 8, citizens' comments. Do we have anyone signed up? No one? Okay. Moving swiftly on, item number 9, town manager report comments.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and I will be extremely brief. Just two items. I know I had previously had shared with the council that I'd hoped to have or bring to you a draft finalized contract for our gate operations sometime at the end of July. But after some further consideration, I think it's important that we take a more deliberate kind of approach to this, just to ensure that the best long-term outcome for the town is achieved. I'll continue to keep you kind of updated as we move forward. The timeline may shift just slightly to allow for a more informed and careful decision. But the goal still remains the same, that that we want to select a partner or a solution that aligns with the town's priorities, and just ensures that we have this high standard of service and accountability. So. We've started our process, so I think it's just going to take a little bit more time for us to do that. So as we start these negotiations, I'll keep you updated as exactly where we are in that process.
What I would ask is, as you feel like you're starting to close in on a sort of a recommendation coming in the near future,
Yep.
to make sure that you let us know, let me know, and then I'll make sure that I can communicate out to the Gate Operations Task Group, as well as any messaging, so that folks are, those who wish to attend or what have you, those meetings are, have plenty of time, and it doesn't show up on a Thursday before a Tuesday
That's
meeting
correct.
kind of thing.
That's correct.
So-
That's correct.
But without disclosing who is participating in this, can you at least give us an idea of how many proposals have been received and, you know?
Yeah, so there were 3 bidders or responders for the all-in, all-inclusive, and 2 responders for the staffing only.
And but we don't have, you don't have numbers from those folks yet. You're still negotiating.
We are not finalized numbers, no.
Okay.
And you had shared that 2 of the staff only.
Correct.
Were also
Right.
2 on the all
That is correct.
services.
That is
So
correct.
essentially, there's 1 unique bidder on the all
That is-
services, otherwise it's
That is correct.
2 and 2.
Yeah. They're not
Just
all,
For clarity
they're
around.
they're not independent of each other, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. We had talked about this in our last agenda meeting. I am pleased that we are ready to launch the town's new website. So tomorrow, you will see this.
Wow.
So with this, we're hoping that this would just provide an improved navigation, just moving in and around the site. It's more mobile-friendly design. We're all using our phones now. It's an updated news and an announcement section, the interactive kind of calendar, but also it's just this further enhancing our transparency with our meeting minutes and, our budgets and all of our public documents. It will be easily found for the public to be able to digest and consume. So that will happen as we speak, that this changeover is happening. So there'll be some changes and tweaks to this as it fully becomes ours and ours to manage and operate. But we're just really excited to have this. It's been a long time coming.
Andrew, will you send out a constant contact to
Yes,
let the community know that?
we'll have all of our posts and our press release and things like that just to notify everyone. So,
Yeah.
but it should be seamless changeover. So if you go to thetownofbr.com, it'll take you to the new
Okay.
website. Yeah.
Yeah, and we mentioned this in prior meetings, maybe it was in the agenda meeting, but the vendor is Civic Plus, and that is a very common municipal vendor website. I'm fairly certain, like Clemens, I believe, Louisville, and lots of others are using it. It has a very sort of similar layout, and it seems to be more designed for municipalities, so it's easy navigation buttons, et cetera. So anyone who's navigated municipal sites before are likely to see kind of a comparable design, so it's pretty intuitive. So kudos to town staff for working on that these past several months to get that across the finish line. I know folks will be able to get to the content more easily, which ultimately is the goal for website, is to make sure people can access it. So thank you for that. Anything else?
That's it, sir.
Thank you. So first, thank you for everyone who has attended. I always want to make sure I give a shout out to Commissioner Finney. Thank you for all that you do for all of us in our county, and the hard work in getting a lot of the support that we need at municipal level as well as the county level. So thank you for who you are and what you do. So just wanted to recognize you. Want to say hey to Chief Howard. He and I spent a quality afternoon together over on Ivy Circle on the inside of the fence as someone decided to do a bit of a NASCAR move through our fence there off of 158. We continue to remind people that we have gates and that we encourage people to go through the gates, not through the fence. That tends to not necessarily always be what people hear. There was no serious injury, so that's why I was joking about it. But unfortunately, it happened to be rainy weather and what have you. But once again, we've our Nellie Stevens appears to have withstood the blunt force trauma, the fence, not so much. So that's another project for Stacy now. But again, Chief Howard, thank you for you and all that your team does for all of us here. I did want to also thank everyone who attended our Food Truck Friday and our Food and Brews event on the town green. The Food Truck Friday was more of a food trucks and vendors and come bring your lawn chairs and sit, listen to music. The Food and Brews was more of, I think of it as more of a mini street fair, if you will. So a lot of folks sort of came and went in the Food and Brews, but had lots of different vendors there and saw a lot of cycling of folks coming in and out. Huge thank you to Smith Grove, to Advance, and to our EMS friends, all of whom were there in support of that event. It was a hot afternoon, I can attest to that, but very appreciative for our first responders who took the time to come out and make sure that everyone was safe, and it was a great way to get visibility for them and all the great things they do for us as well. So my thanks to them as well. So our next town council meeting, pardon me. So first, I've invited Moxville's Women's Club. So oftentimes I'll invite different businesses or different organizations within the county, but Moxville's Women's Club has been kind of on the back of my mind, and I thought, well, I'm going to ask them to come speak, and probably we'll cycle through some other organizations, but try to find a way in most of our meetings to have people come and speak about their organization, their history, and sort of what they're all about. So join us in the August town council meeting for that. Excuse me. I've also had, and Andrew has had, and I'm sure Cindy has had as well, we've had quite a few residents periodically reach out about wildlife issues, whether it's deer, snakes, skunks, raccoons, bats, anything that exists as a wildlife. I do believe Bermuda Run is a welcoming city even to those wildlife. And so sometimes what happens is we get phone calls here, town staff gets phone calls saying, hey, I've got a skunk in my yard, I got a bat in my house, I got this or that. It's typically what the town does. We'll send them to Animal Services. Animal Services will more often than not recommend that they reach out to a pest control company. It's not a service that the town offers. So I share all that to say that I did reach out to the North Carolina Wildlife Commission, and I'm hopeful that they're able to attend our August town council meeting and come and speak to us about wildlife and how to live alongside wildlife and do's and don'ts and putting the cat food out that winds up feeding the skunks and all the above. And so bringing an expert in to talk with all of us, have it on video as well so folks can consume it later to understand sort of how we can coexist with wildlife in the area. Wildlife's not going away, thankfully, but when houses and residents and dogs and cats and wildlife all come together, there's got to be some navigation around that. And so hopefully we'll have that as well. So that's all that I had. Any council comments?
First of all, I think it's a terrific idea to bring someone from the Wildlife Commission in. I've heard those presentations before. They are extremely professional. And I think it'd be most timely because, yeah, a lot of neighbors are saying everything from chipmunks to bats in the attic. So that would be very helpful. So I commend you for that. Secondly, was the fence in the area that was damaged, that was town property?
Town owns the fence in that strip area.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Has any, pardon my language, was the perpetrator identified?
It is. We have the report from the Highway Patrol Office. We've already made contact with the insurance company.
Okay, that was what I was going, was just make sure there was an insurance claim that was being processed at least.
Yeah, we've had, I want to say, 2 on 801 and 2 on 158, probably in the last 18 months. So it happens, and as long as the driver is insured, then it's something that allows the town to process that. No differently than someone who backs into a gate or backs into the sensor or whatever, but as long as the individual has insurance, then it's just a matter of processing it.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
I would like to say I'm excited that the Moxville Women's Club will be here in August. I've been blessed to be a member of that organization for 20 years, and while the name is Moxville Women's Club, we do also call it the Moxville Women's Club and Greater Davie County, because we have women from all parts of the county that have served as a volunteer. It's a wonderful group, and I hope we'll have a good turnout to hear their presentation.
Yes, do I. Yes, do I. Okay. Hearing no more comments, we'll move on to the all-important adjournment topic. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I move, we adjourn.
Second.
The infamous second. Show of hands approve? 3-0. Thank you, everyone, again. We are adjourned. Stay careful out there. It's a warm one.